Kuma Shen has been warning Taiwanese people for the past 5 years. He founded Kuma Academy to be able to train citizens to fight against Chinese disinformation.
It has been my life goal, to really stop the disinformation, because I know that the ultimate goal for China is to invade Taiwan.
Young people have heard his pleas. They are now actively participating in workshops to become fact-checkers. Before the campaign, nearly 6 million disinformation and cyber attacks were targeting Taiwan every single day. And that number has exploded since the beginning of the election period. For example, between January and September, Google alone has removed nearly 60,000 fake news channels, all coming from China. But widespread fake news on social media platforms, particularly on TikTok, controlled by China's algorithms, is a growing concern.
To mess up the local election here in Taiwan, for each district, you only need to manipulate, let's say, 3,000 to 5,000 votes. So it's not that difficult for China.
Chinese interference extends beyond disinformation and includes daily military maneuvers in the Taiwan Strait, as well as Chinese balloons flying over Taiwanese airspace. All 2,000 employees of the Investigation Bureau of the Taiwan Ministry of Justice have been tasked with monitoring Chinese interference. Beijing accuses Taiwan's ruling party of exaggerating the risks of election interference. This spokesperson for China's Ministry of Defense says it is Taiwan that is seeking confrontation and manipulating results. Kuma Shen is taking his fight against Chinese disinformation to another level. He's all but set to become a legislator for the DPP, and if his party wins, he says he will introduce a bill to counter Chinese interference.
Philip is in Taiwan, where it's Saturday morning. Voting is underway. And what's your sense of how Beijing's tactics might affect voters?
Well, there is no doubt that there is interference by China. Everyone knows here in Taiwan, even in Washington, which addressed the problem. Now, most people agree or would tend to think that it's not going to be a major impact on the outcome tonight, because there's so much crowd-funded, crowd-sourced fact checks, and everyone's sort of mobilizing against mass-scale Chinese interference. So that's why people are worried, but cautiously optimistic they won't have such a big impact. And what you're seeing is people already lining up this morning. What's very particular about Taiwan is that 2 million people living abroad had to pay to come here to vote, because there's no absentee ballots, there's no early voting.
Speaking of impact, though this is a national election in Taiwan, the results could have global repercussions.
On the relationship between Taiwan and China, also between Taiwan and the U.S., and between U.S. and China, so that will be very important to watch. It could also have global repercussions on the economy, because 50% of all commercial maritime traffic transits through the Taiwan Strait. So in case of Beijing overreaction, stepping up military pressure, that could have impact on the rest of the world, economically speaking. So that's why Washington is telling Beijing to be very careful not to overreact to tonight's results.
And as we can see, voting underway on what is already Saturday morning. Philippe Leblanc in Taiwan's capital, Taipei.